HipHopSince1987.com.
We're live right now on the east side of Atlanta, Hattie B's Hot Chicken. I'm with a brother who I guarantee if you don't recognize his face, you've heard his sound, you've heard his music. Goes by the name of Street Symphony. How you doing today, player?
What's good? What's good?
We appreciate you having us here, man. It's about to be something dope. Talk, eat, get to know you a little better. Let our audience know you a little better as well. As I mentioned, though, you've been out here for some time. Folks may not know your face. They might, they don't get to see what you producers are doing behind the beats or behind the scenes a lot, but they've definitely heard your music. So talk to us and let us know, originally from Nashville, when did you start producing and why did you feel like production is something you wanted to jump into?
Yeah, originally from Memphis, Tennessee, so I gotta always correct that. But I grew up in Nashville, went to college outside of Nashville. Man, I started producing, I'd say, really taking it serious when I was in school. I went to MTSU. It's about 30 minutes right outside of Nashville. And man, I had a little rap group, and we was the thing around Middle Tennessee or whatnot back then. I used to rap, believe it or not, but I never did like my voice on the microphone, so I kind of just stood back from that and really just focused on the production side. And I guess I just had a gift, you know what I'm saying? I really just kind of tapped into it. Prior to that, I grew up just listening to hip hop. Had older cousins putting me on the Eazy-E and the NWAs and all that. So I got a real good background, with hip hop and with music as a whole. I was a big West Coast music lover at first. Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, some of the influences. But man, I just tapped into my craft and just kept doing my thing. And met Yo Gotti was one of the first big artists I worked with. When he did a Gangsta Grills with DJ Drama when the Gangsta Grills series was real hot. We linked up. I did a record for him called Work Hard, Play Hard, and shit, the rest been history since then.
How do you feel like Memphis influenced your sound? I didn't know originally it was Memphis, so that makes a lot of sense now. How do you feel like growing up in Memphis influenced your sound?
Man, Memphis is a great place, a great musical place. The culture in Memphis is like none other. In the summertime we go on Beale Street and everybody had their box Chevys out and was banging 3-6 Mafia and 8 Ball and MJG and just all this music that I love to listen to, hard hitting drums. That kind of set the tone for a lot of the Southern sound. I mean, we look up right now and I feel like half the records I hear, got a lot of 3-6 Mafia, DJ Paul, Juicy J influence right now as we speak. So it's funny how the times just, turn around, but Memphis just one of them cities, just the culture, the whole vibe, just everything,
So you say your first big placement was with Yo Gotti and DJ Drama. That was about 10 years ago to this day. Talk to me about how that all came about and being from Memphis originally, what was that like? Like, damn, I'm working with one of the hottest artists in the city, in the South and whatnot. How did it all come about and what was that feeling like?
So I got a friend as well as a business partner and the person I produced for by the name of Starlito. We super duper tight. That's my guy, and at this point in time, he was, signed to Inevitable Entertainment, or IE, which was Gotti's previous label, and they had this situation with Cash Money. He was working on this demo, he was working on this project. He was like, yo, Street, I gotta finish this project. So I drove down there, and helped him finish his demo. We actually ended up at Yo Gotti's house working on a project, just trying to get it in. And we did that, and I just kind of stayed in contact, and I think I moved to Houston at that. Later on, I ended up moving to Houston, Texas, and Gotti and some of the homies hit me up like, yo, we in town. And, when they was in town, I'm always going to pull up with my beat CD. I'm hustling, you feel me?
I respect that.
It got to the point really where when Gotti would be like, I remember this time they was in Houston, I'm hopping in the vans. We had the rap Escalades, and we hopping out in the hood, the projects, all throughout Houston, handing out Gangsta Grill CDs or whatever. But I would always just, anytime I ran into them, I had my beat CD on deck. It's before everybody was doing the email game and the MP3 game. We had the beat CDs, just ready to go. So that's how I linked up with him, but mostly through Starlito, because he was signed to them at that time.
Talk to me about Starlito. That's very dope and interesting. It's somebody, actually, my man Danny, shout out to Danny Digital, that's one of his favorite artists and whatnot. So we listen to, when I'm with him, a lot of Starlito, a lot of Don Tripp. Talk to me about Starlito. I think he's one of the most underrated artists out here. Entrepreneur, gentleman's doing a whole lot in the streets for his community and putting out dope music. So just talk to me about his career and what you see in that cat.
Man, I think Star is definitely one of the dopest artists, you know what I'm saying, out there. Like you said, independent, very entrepreneurial spirit, real smart, you know, not just street smart, but a lot of book knowledge as well. You know, we actually graduated from the same high school as well, too. So, you know, just an incredible person, you know, really family oriented, you know what I mean, just a good guy. So I think what he's doing with his career and building out his label, Grind Hard, you know, it's great. It's great for the city of Nashville. And, you know, him just like me, we're always trying to, you know, feedback or give feedback and pushback to the city to grow, you know, push the line. So, you know, he's working with some other artists in Nashville as well that he's helping push the line, and I'm helping him on different business ventures with publishing and other things. You know, he knows the touring game. He knows how to sell some records independently and whatnot, but there's other revenue that's out there available for him. So, you know, me kind of having a business knowledge and being in a lot of these big buildings or whatnot, I'm, you know, working with him to get all that money, you know, pick it all up.
Talk to me about your sound, man. What is it? I don't want to say who influenced you or what influenced you, but talk to me about some instruments you like to put into your music, some sounds that you like to hear when you're creating your beats. Also, let me know some programs that you may use, whether it be Logic, Reasons, Fruity Loops.
So the name Street Symphony kind of came from, you know, I was big in the orchestra sound, so strings, pianos, you know, brass and things like that, big horns, you know, monstrous tracks. I want everything real big. And as I've progressed, you know, I'm still into that, but I like a lot of the samples or whatnot, you know, and I kind of dig back into the crates of the classic hip-hop records here as of late and reflipping them and redoing them or whatnot. So just hard-hitting drums. The drums has always got a beat. The bass is always got to be there. And that's just, you know, primarily mostly it. You look at some of my more recent records, you know, I've definitely been flipping samples here as of late. You know, we do a lot of original stuff too. And I got a good team. I got my own production label. I have 4 producers signed to me called Track or Die. So you hear me yelling TOD all the time. And my guys, they do their thing. I got a producer named 808, D.O. Speaks, Kangaroo and Jay Super. They're my guys, so I had to give a shout out to them. But we pushing the line, man. We literally just pushing the line. We build something organic and independent and strong, and we here to stay. You know, so we about to run it up.
Now, for me personally, growing up, Jay-Z was my favorite artist. Still kind of is to this day, but to me, he's moved on. I ain't gonna say he's out the game, but it's about the newer cats. And my favorite 2 artists right now happen to be Meek. He's from the hometown of Philly, same place as me. And then Nipsey. I love Nipsey, you know what I'm saying? And you yourself actually recently have worked with both of those artists. You worked with Meek on his a very powerful record, Young Black America. That's a very dope record right there. A sample also came, Jay-Z did it a few years back. And then Hussle and Motivate. I think that's a street anthem that's picking up in every hood, every neighborhood by Nipsey Hussle. So talk to me about those 2 tracks individually. How did you and Meek link up for Young Black America? And then tell me how you and Nipsey linked up for Hussle and Motivate.
So as far as Meek Mill, I kind of met him multiple ways. The first time I met him was definitely through his A&R, Dallas Martin. Shout out to Dallas. You know, me and Dallas, when I first moved to here in Atlanta, me and Dallas stayed in the same apartment complex. When he was grinding, before he was big time A&R, you know, he was just grinding out here real heavy. So he heard my music, he was like, yo, you dope. So, you know, he did his thing with MMG and over at Atlantic, he oversaw the project. And I was in LA one time, and I had a flight at like 6 a.m., first flight up out of there. He was like, yo, come to the studio, you know, and play some joints for Meek. So I get to the studio, I got there about 11:30 or 12. But you know, Meek had, I think it was Mustard in there, Drummer Boy, was all kind of other producers in there, so I had to just kind of, you know, wait my turn. So I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at the clock, it's like 4:30. My flight leave at 6. Finally, it was time for me to pull up my music. And I'm just sitting there, you know, the party had kind of calmed down and everything, so I played some joints. Like the first joint I played, he was like, you know, he looked at me, he was like, yo, load that up. And he went and recorded. So that's kind of how we met, you know, and I would run into him in LA and we exchanged numbers. Then I had another partner, Trav from Queens, that's my guy too. And you know, he used to push the line and be like, man, Street Symphony got that dope, you know what I mean? He got like, he got them bangers for you. So that kind of just tied it all in furthermore. And you know, we've been cool ever since. When he come to Atlanta or whatnot, I get the invites. His engineer crews, real good dude, he'll hit me up too and be like, man, pull up. So that's kind of how I met Meek, and we just been rocking since then. So, you know, like you said, the Young Black America record was a single for Meek Mill's last album. It was a Jay-Z flip, and that was one of my favorite Jay-Z records. Nip, another great dude. Been a big fan of Nip for the longest. funny thing is, the Hustle and Motivate record, we actually made that in LA for Meek.
Wow.
Yeah, we made that for Meek. And this was like 2014. And Dallas was like, yo, Nip love that record. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, so we just held it. And I mean, we held that record from 2014 all the way to this year for him. You know, hadn't got paid on it or nothing yet, but I knew it was gonna be a special record. And
did you sample anything for that? Because it doesn't sound like Hard Knock Life, but the
Yeah, no, it's definitely from the Annie to Hard Knock, the same sample as Hard Knock Life.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, no doubt. So we had to take care of Jay-Z on that, you know. But hey, I ain't tripping. I got credits with Sean Carter now. You feel me? My name next to Sean Carter, so twice. As a matter of fact, 3 times, because I did a banger with Dave East here. I did a record called Imagine with Dave East, so we flipped that too. So fortunately for me, it's like every time I flip a Jay-Z record, he clear it. And he don't beat me on publishing, like never.
That's love.
Yeah, so I don't know when we getting in the studio, but you know, we about due, Jay.
Yeah, even this man making magical music to your stuff, is definitely about time to make that happen. You work with a long catalog of artists, as you mentioned, the Yo Gotti, as we mentioned a moment ago, Meek, of course, we just mentioned Nipsey, Dave East, the list goes on and on. Are there any artists out here currently, though, that you haven't had the opportunity to work with yet, and you're like, damn, what they saying, they flow, and my sound would be magical together?
Man, it's a lot of young artists that I'm really starting to tap into. Like my favorite artist right now definitely is probably gonna be, at least out of the younger generation, is gonna be like, I'm really feeling Lil Baby, what he's doing.
Okay.
I like Yellow Beezy, I like what he's doing. Gunna, he dope. Thug, he dope, but I've worked with Thug before, but I wouldn't mind getting back in with him when this whole situation get worked out. I'm feeling them cats, you know what I mean? And then it's just some younger cats, you know, on the West Coast that I'm really feeling real tough. A label by the name of T and Mel. They doing their thing in music life. I got an artist, Saint Malo, he dope. Hit a J3.
Okay.
Yeah, TJ the General and Ro, my crazy Ro, he dope as well too. So, man, you know, these new artists I love trying to build with them too. So I ain't tripping.
What's next for you? What are you currently working on? We're moving into the fourth quarter of 2018. So the new year is only a few months away. What are you working on? What do you currently have in the works?
Yeah, me and Dave East, we at it. We got several records recorded. Me and Meek, you know, new Meek album on the way. We at it as well too. So maybe I'll have a couple surprises on there. A couple surprises maybe. Those are primary things. I was in with Gotti when I was in LA last time, so still working with him. Me and Starlito always talking about projects and music. Then I'm developing my own artists. I got a young cat out of Nashville, Tennessee by the name of 2 Live Bree. We're getting ready to open his whole situation up and just push the line with him. And, you know, just getting it in here and there, wherever I can, you know.
I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if we don't speak on just the music scene in Nashville briefly, because of course we spoke on what it is in Memphis. Although you grew up in Memphis, you spent a lot of time, as you mentioned, in Nashville. I know from my knowledge, when a lot of cats think of Nashville, they don't necessarily think of hip hop. And there's so much music that comes out of Nashville. They think automatically country music, but there are a whole lot of hip hop things jumping, as we see with yourself in Nashville. What is the sound like in Nashville, and what is the music industry as a whole like in Nashville?
Nashville is definitely pushing the line. We got some younger producers that's definitely doing their thing. You know, I have to give credit when credit's due. We got a producer I'm really feeling named Band Play, who's kind of pushing the line. He just did a single for Dolph and Key Glock, so he doing his thing. And he did a whole project with Starlito and an artist that Starlito had signed him named Trapper Mandel. He dope, you know, so they pushing the line as well. And it's just some other cats that's just kind of trying to do their thing around there too. So, you know, it's getting it together. I think mostly it's infrastructure. And, you know, cats got to understand it. This shit ain't easy. You know, you got to go get it. But I think you got some people that's really, you know, pushing the line to kind of just, you know, open things up for them. You know, you got to speak on it. In these situations like this, you got to speak on the city. You know what I mean? It ain't just about you. It's about, you know, speaking on other cats that's doing their thing. And I think that's how we progress as a city. Unfortunately, Nashville is one of the me cities. So the few artists that do get a chance to kind of, you know, get in the spotlight, they want to just keep it to themselves. But that ain't how I'm rocking. They know that ain't how I'm rocking. I'm trying to do everything I can for the city. And Kia Shine had a great quote back in the day, how you gonna help your city if you never left your city? So I always think on that. And I think of that when I think of Nashville. So we coming. It's Cashville, Tennessee, all day long.
What advice would you give to up-and-coming producers and just producers out here that are trying to, you know, get their big break and they're waiting for that hit record to come themselves?
Man, you gotta utilize all the tools you can. You know, when I was a young producer, I did everything from sit up in Mars Music and Guitar Center in the production rooms playing my beats, to beat CDs, to MP3ing, to hitting the club, to paying to be in the VIP section just so I could be, you know, around the action. So for the younger producers, you gotta just, you know, you can't be self-entitled thinking just because your beat is dope, somebody owe you something, because nobody owe you anything, you know what I mean? It's a million producers right now. Also, the importance of relationships, man. People want to do business with that they can do good business with. You know, if you real slick and shady, selling the same beat to 4 or 5 different people on the low, thinking people ain't gonna find out. That's the little money.
I hear a lot of that.
You know, you selling out, you probably selling beats for $250, $500, and you know what? That ain't the game. You need to be getting these real checks. You feel me? You know, the 10, 15 band checks per beat. You know, so that's kind of like what you got to think and what you got to be thinking of as a young producer, like longevity in the game, great relationships with the artists, managers, A&Rs, and get you a good attorney. You know what I mean? But it's business.
Now, but before we get off camera, you got us out here at Hattie B's. The food is here, so we got to show the good people, like, you know, talk to us about the food. Which one is yours, Digital? You got the sandwich and whatnot? You got the Sam, man. I know I'm fake healthy and shit. I got the grilled, John.
Right.
So talk to me about Hattie B's. Is food.
So, you know, Nashville hot chicken is a big thing. Hattie B's is definitely doing their thing on a corporate level. I mean, but I would, you know, being from Nashville, I wouldn't be doing justice if I didn't speak on Prince's hot chicken as well. That's kind of the originator, you know what I mean? The Hattie B's, you know, they kind of come in and do their thing, but shout out to Prince's hot chicken, because if you're from Nashville, you know what that is and what that means to hot chicken. So I gotta say that, but Hattie B's is gonna hit. I mean, we finna get full for sure.
I mean, it's looking mighty delicious right here. So we damn sure appreciate you for this, man. Let our audience know where they can check you out via social media, how they can stay in tune with you, and for any artists, A&Rs, labels that want to reach out to you, let them know how they can contact you via email.
I'm on the Instagram. I am Street Symphony. I'm on that Twitter. I Street Symphony. You can just Google Street Symphony. You're gonna see all kind of stuff. As far as reaching and getting in contact with me, info@Track or Die. Visit the website, trackordie.com, like trap or die, but track or die. And I'm out here, man. I'm moving around. Just holler at me.
Terrell Thomas, we live right now, east side of Atlanta, Hattie B's, about to have a good time. Fellowship, hustle, and motivate out here. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be bringing you many more behind the beats, and pay attention to what this brother is doing right here.